Okay, so I'm going to make a video on adding fractions and finding a common denominator. I see right here that I have to move this down a little bit, so there we go. Okay, so for the first one, we have here 1/3 plus 3/6, right? So 1/3 plus 3/6, if you're having trouble and you need to write it vertically, up and down, you could rewrite it like this, 1/3 and 3/6. Now, the question is, what denominator, all right, can I put that is common between the two, all right? So to find a common denominator, you need to find the least common multiple. So if we look at 3 and 6, so here we have 3, here we have 6. We want to find a common multiple here. All right, so what I'm going to do is when I count by threes, I'm going 3, 6, 9. But you notice already I have the 6, which is in common. So my common denominator is going to be 6. Now I know we have said that you could always do multiply your denominators, which would be 3 times 6, and that would give you 18, which would be right, but that's not the least common denominator. So I don't want to choose that if I could find a denominator that's even smaller. So if I'm finding here a denominator that's even smaller, then I know 1/3 is equal to how many sixths? Well, 3 times what gives me 6? 3 times 2. So then I do, to my numerator, 1 times 2 is 2/6. And now I have 2/6 and 1/6. So if we add together, because we go back to our original problem, 1/6 plus 2/6 equals 3/6. All right? And 3/6 would be our sum here. Okay? Now, if you go to B, we have 1/2 plus 1/4, right? So we have 1/2 plus 1/4. So now you want to say to yourself, oh wait, you may know that our denominators are 2 and 4, right? So yeah, I could multiply them together and get 8. 8 is a common denominator, but it's not the least common denominator. So if I count by 2s and I count by 4s, I want to see when I get the least common multiple. That's going to be my denominator. So if I count by 2s, 2, 4, 6, oh wait, I've already said 4. So 4 is a common denominator. So I'm just going to make 1/2 equal how many fourths? Well, I know in my head that 2, if you double 2, you get 4. So if I'm going to double my denominator, then I'm just going to double my numerator. So if I double 1, I get 2. Or 2 times 2 is 4, 1 times 2 is 2. And then do I need to change anything with my 1/4 fraction? No, you don't need to change anything because 1/4 already has the common denominator of 4. So now all you're doing is we have 2/4 plus 1/4 equals 3/4. All right? 3/4. So 1/2 plus 1/4, our original here, 1/2 plus 1/4 is 3/4. Okay. Now, sorry for that's the bell. Let's look down here. 3/4 plus 1/8, right? We're in here. All right. So if I rewrite it even going across, 3/4 plus 1/8, right? So I'm going to do it this way, and I'm going to say, how can I find a common denominator? Well, you'll notice here 4 and 8. Oh, if I count by 4s, I know that I can get to 8, right? 4, 8, 12. So it's 4, 8. So how does 3/4, right? How does 3/4 become how many eighths? Well, hopefully you're seeing now that 4, double 4, you get 8, or 4 times 2 equals 8. So then you have to do 3 times 2 equals 6. So now you have 6/8. So if 6/8, so really what you're saying is 6/8 plus the 1/8 equals 7/8. That is your answer. Okay. Now I'm going to clear this board, all right, because I'm going to look at D. Now D is 1/4 plus 5/12. Okay. Now I always, and I'm actually going to rewrite that because I want a little more room. So I'm going to rewrite it over here and do 1/4 plus 5/12. I always like rewriting it vertically, okay? Vertically going up and down and not across, because it gives me more room to find my common denominator. Because I can't add fourths and twelfths, so I'm going to, if I start with my 4, let me count by 4s, right? Equals, we've got 4, 8, 12. I got to 12. If I got to 12, I know that my denominator in 5/12 is also 12. So right now, I don't have to change my 5/12. But I want to say, what is 1/4 equal to? How many 12ths? All right. Well, that's when I just say 4 times what gives me 12? 4 times 3 is 12. So if I times the bottom by 3, I have to multiply the top by 3. 1 times 3 is 3. Okay, is 3/12. So now you have 3/12. In our original problem, you're just adding it to the 5/12. All right, so 3/12 and 5/12. So if I did it up here, 3/12 plus 5/12 equals 8/12. And that is your answer for that one. Okay, I'm not going to do E and F. You could try E and F on your own, but I feel like I've done these first 4, and hopefully that could help you when adding fractions and realizing that you have to find a common denominator. All right, so with all that, thank you very much.